Cherieanne's day begins before the sun rises. She moves quickly through the bustling halls of the military hospital, where the air is always thick with the urgency of life and death. Dressed in her crisp white coat, stethoscope hanging loosely around her neck, she is the very picture of composure and dedication. She's been here for 5 years now, one of the youngest doctors to make a name for herself in a hospital that treats soldiers fresh from the battlefield. Her days are long and grueling, but Cherieanne wouldn't have it any other way. She knows her work makes a difference. The soldiers look up to her, and she has gained a reputation for being compassionate but firm. Her surgical precision and calm under pressure make her invaluable, and she often finds herself in the operating room for hours on end. After each shift, she sits alone in her small apartment overlooking the city. The silence is her only company. Though she is surrounded by people at work, the loneliness she feels when she's home is a stark contrast to the adrenaline-filled hospital life. She buries it, convincing herself that her career is enough. And yet, every now and then, she wonders, what would it be like to share her life with someone? Meanwhile, thousands of feet above the ground, Captain Michael lives in a different kind of fast-paced world. He's a pilot for one of the most prestigious passenger airlines, flying across continents with the calm and skill that only years of experience can offer. He's always had a passion for flying, ever since he was a boy. The freedom of the open sky, the way the world shrinks beneath his feet, it's exhilarating. But like Cherieanne, his life is one of routine. Takeoffs and landings, long flights and lonely hotel rooms. Michael's friends envy his job. They see the glamour in his life, the exotic destinations, the respect that comes with being a captain, the chance to see the world. But for Michael, there's a growing emptiness. In the quiet moments between flights, he feels the weight of something missing, like he's drifting through life without an anchor. One autumn afternoon, Captain Michael is at the helm of a flight from New York to London. It's a long haul, but nothing he hasn't done before. As the plane soars above the Atlantic, he feels the familiar rhythm of the engines, the hum of control beneath his fingertips. Then, a sudden jolt in the cabin, chaos. One of the flight attendants rushes into the cockpit with a message that changes everything. A passenger, a retired military officer, is having a heart attack. The crew has done what they can, but the man's condition is deteriorating quickly. An announcement is made, asking if there's a doctor on board. Cherieanne, sitting quietly in economy class, feels her heart race. She's not supposed to be working today. She's en route to a medical conference, but instinctively, she rises to her feet. Her medical bag is tucked under her seat. She grabs it and makes her way to the front of the cabin, her mind already racing through potential treatments. When she reaches the stricken officer, she doesn't hesitate. She administers oxygen, starts an IV, and begins chest compressions, all the while barking orders to the flight attendants. Her calm, decisive actions hold the passengers in awe. Despite the confined space and limited resources, she manages to stabilize the man's condition long enough for the plane to make an emergency landing. From the cockpit, Michael watches the whole scene unfold on a monitor. He's amazed by her composure. Even from a distance, he can see the dedication in her eyes, the focus in her every movement. As the plane touches down and paramedics rush in to take over, Michael knows he needs to meet the woman who just saved a life at 30,000 feet. She's not supposed to be working today. As passengers disembark, Cherieanne lingers for a moment, gathering her things. She's still processing the events of the past few hours when she feels a tap on her shoulder. She turns to find Captain Michael standing before her, his uniform as crisp as ever, a grateful smile on his face. "Thank you," he says, his voice deep and sincere. "You saved his life." Cherieanne nods, her professional demeanor masking the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. "Just doing my job," she replies with a soft smile. Michael extends his hand. "Captain Michael Dawson. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself properly earlier, Doctor." "Cherieanne Williams," she responds, shaking his hand. There's a brief moment of silence as their eyes meet, and something shifts in the air between them. They chat for a few minutes, exchanging pleasantries about the flight and the officer's condition. It's a simple conversation, but beneath the surface, both feel an undeniable connection. As Cherieanne leaves the airport, she can't shake the image of the tall, composed pilot from her mind. Similarly, Michael spends the rest of the evening thinking about the doctor who had so effortlessly captivated him. After that flight, Michael and Cherieanne begin to stay in touch, their lives intersecting through a series of chance encounters and intentional conversations. It starts with a thank you message from Michael, which leads to a string of emails, then phone calls. Soon, they're regularly talking, sharing stories about their careers, their challenges, their hopes. Cherieanne finds comfort in Michael's calm and understanding demeanor. He listens to her long rants about difficult surgeries and hospital politics without judgment. Michael, on the other hand, is drawn to Cherieanne's strength and compassion. He admires her dedication, the way she navigates life with a balance of intensity and grace. For months, they nurture this friendship, unaware, or perhaps unwilling to admit, that it's becoming something more. Whenever Michael is grounded in a city near Cherieanne's hospital, they meet for coffee or dinner. These moments, though rare, become the highlights of their otherwise hectic lives. One evening, after a particularly long shift, Cherieanne finds herself confiding in Michael over the phone. "It's hard sometimes," she admits. "All I do is work. I see so much suffering, and when I come home, it's just quiet." Michael's voice is soft on the other end of the line. "I know the feeling, but you're not alone, Cherieanne. You've got me." The words hang in the air between them, unspoken emotions swirling. It's in that moment that they both realize this connection is more than just friendship. It's something deeper. Over the next year, their bond deepens, and soon, they can no longer deny what they feel. It's not just the shared stories or the way they support each other's dreams, it's love. Simple, honest, and inevitable, Michael makes the first move. During a brief break between flights, he surprises Cherieanne at her hospital with a bouquet of her favorite flowers and a shy smile. "I don't know how much longer I can pretend this is just a friendship," he admits. "I think about you all the time, Cherieanne. I don't want to imagine a life without you in it." Cherieanne's heart skips a beat. She's always been the rational one, the one who keeps her emotions in check. But in that moment, she realizes that Michael is everything she's been missing. Without a second thought, she throws her arms around him, laughing as tears of joy fill her eyes. "I feel the same," she whispers, her voice trembling with happiness. From that day on, their love story takes off. They navigate the challenges of long distance, their demanding careers, and the inevitable sacrifices that come with two people chasing their dreams. But through it all, they never lose sight of each other. Years later, after countless flights, surgeries, and stolen moments together, Michael proposes on a moonlit night under a sky full of stars. It's a simple proposal, but perfect in every way. Cherieanne says yes, her heart full of love for the man who came into her life when she least expected it. Their wedding is intimate, a gathering of close family and friends. As they exchange vows, both of them know that their love was written in the stars. Two hearts that found each other against all odds. In the years that follow, Cherieanne and Michael build a life together. She continues her work at the hospital, while he flies the skies. They support each other, challenge each other, and most importantly, love each other deeply. And as the sun sets on each day, they find peace in knowing that no matter how high Michael flies or how many lives Cherieanne saves, their hearts will always be anchored in the love they share. Together, they live happily ever after. Their love story is vast and boundless as the sky above.